has made a series of decisions that led them to this moment. You've been making decisions since you were born, from deciding what to wear in the morning, what to eat for lunch, which book to read next, and choosing a whole career path. Every decision we make has had the potential to make a difference in our lives. So, perhaps take a moment to reflect. How have those decisions treated you? Do you feel satisfied? Do you feel content? Or do you possibly feel a little anxious, upset, or even regretful? We're often told the best way to live our lives is to make decisions we won't regret. But that obviously isn't possible, because we don't know what we will or will not come to regret until we obviously completed the action in question. And by that time, weeks, months, or even years may have passed, and it would have been too late to change anything. The average individual will make around 800,000 decisions in a lifetime and will come to regret a fifth of them. This is a real fear. The fear of making the wrong decision. I'm sure everyone here has toiled over decisions before, so raise your hand if you've ever spent some time picking the right tone or wording for an email or message for someone. So you see, decisions that seem so insignificant are ones that we spend so much time making. So decisions are hard to make. But decisions that have an influence on others are even more difficult to make. Our lives are undoubtedly influenced by the actions of others. In fact, sociologists tell us that the most introverted person will actually influence around 10,000 others in a lifetime. So think about the people you've already influenced in your life so far. So in reality, we don't only live by the actions of ourselves, we live by the actions of others as well. So then it's important to ask, how do we make better decisions for ourselves and others? I want you to imagine this. In front of you is a railway track that breaks into two pathways. On the first end, a lever can change the direction of the path. On the first pathway, you see that one individual is tied down to the path. And if you choose to flip the switch, the trolley or the train will continue on that path, and obviously, the person will get crushed. Alternatively, if you choose not to flip the switch, the trolley will continue on its original path, and the other 5 people on the other tracks will get crushed. So what would you do? This is a classical thought experiment known as the trolley problem. And at first, this decision might seem very, very simple, because 5 lives are obviously worth way more than 1 life. And based on a simple utilitarianistic model, the decision is clear. In fact, 90% of people posed with this problem said that they would kill one person and save the other 5. But this is way too simple, so let's add more to the trolley problem. Now let's say all 5 people were actually terminally ill, and that other person was an innocent, healthy child. What about now? Because suddenly adding a few more factors adds a new layer of complexity in this problem. You could argue that people who are terminally ill don't have much to live for anyways, while that child has a full life ahead of them.
What do you think is going to happen?
This decision is now harder to make. What if the person on the side track was actually a close family member, and the other 5 were complete strangers? Would you value your mom's life over 5 random people you met on the street?
Yeah, easily.
What if it was 5 convicted criminals over 1 just innocent child? What if it was a neurosurgeon with 5 fast food workers? Now, these questions force us to grapple with the difficult nature of valuing the different lives of different people. Because is it fair to prioritize the life of a family member over that of a stranger, or to even consider the past actions of individuals when determining their worth? Now, look, the trolley problem is not something we see on a daily basis or even come across. But the point of this thinking experiment or this thought experiment is to highlight the difficult trade-offs that we as individuals have to make on a daily basis. Because you know what? All of our decisions are like this. All of our decisions include real people with real emotions. And some of these decisions will harm others, some will benefit others, some we can choose to make, and some are completely out of control. So I want to go back to the beginning, when I first posed the trolley problem. When I added more factors to it, did your response change? Raise your hand if you did.
What she looks like.
Okay, maybe it did or maybe it didn't. But the important part is that with just more information, we were better equipped with the abilities to make better decisions. Importantly, decisions we won't regret. Obviously, all decisions have their own ramifications, but it's undeniable. The more you know, the better decisions you make. So now that we look at a hypothetical scenario, let's see how this really applies in the real world. Because in reality, nobody has all the information in the world to make a perfect decision. So that begs the question, how do we get more information? And the answer is actually very simple, and it's something that all of us have been doing on a daily basis almost. And that's simply just through stories. Stories allow us to convey information. They allow us to share experiences through someone else's perspective. And what that does, it allows us to empathize with other people's struggles, paving the way for us to become better agents
she's a very
positive
irrelevant
change.
character.
The power of stories lies in their infinite potential to inspire and connect us. Yet, their impact can be restricted into what part of a story is told, how frequent that story is told, and how that story is told. Because all these factors are dependent on power and privilege. The more power and privilege you have in society, not only do you have more of an ability to tell someone else's story, but to also make it a definitive story of that person. Because when you show people as one thing, and one thing over and over
What
again,
other controls are there?
that's what they become. The problem with a single story
Those are good.
is that it creates stereotypes.
I like the crossover between the three. Fire, BD, and
Stereotypes are harmful because
it's a
they're
cool crossover
incomplete.
thing. The rookie is also.
When you reduce someone's single narrative,
What?
when you reduce someone's story
you're
to a
off the
single narrative, you strip them of their dignity and emphasize
No.
how we are different, and rather than
I've
how
seen
we are
Never Have
similar
I Ever.
as human beings.
It's okay. It's okay.
So, if we want to make the best decisions for ourselves and others, we need information. We need
Oh,
to
the
be
World War
working with
II
people
in
on the
color
ground and understanding
documentary is
their
really
needs. Because oftentimes it's our perspective of what
No,
they
I
need.
hate that.
But
The guy just looks
one
so
thing that's really important is that we understand and truly listen to those around us
What's it even?
and try to understand what is going on in that perspective. But in such a globalized world where things like cultural and political differences often lead to conflict and misunderstanding, where we're stuck in this deadlock, how do we navigate these complexities? Well, I believe that the solution is very simple, and that's that we should start looking at things through a more collective lens. It takes a village to raise a child. In order to address the needs and wants of an individual, we need to come together as a society and as a collective. Because generally how, the Western society, figures speaking in global terms, emphasize a lot on the rights and needs of individuals over the collective needs of society.
Oh, there's more.
As I said, it takes a village
Oh, we
to
never had
raise
to.
a child.
We have to adapt.
And collective thinking is so important because as individuals, we have blind spots
we have to
and we don't see things. And it's very intuitive.
Yeah,
Just
there's a
because
box.
as an individual, we are our own person and in our own realm of thought, and we don't see things. But as a collective, someone else is able to point out the blind spots in your geniuses and say, hey, how about we actually add this perspective in this way? And what that does is that it enriches the approach. Fostering collaboration is changing the way we see things. We're able to go an extra mile in the way that we address the current issues that face society today. And I think the rest of the world can actually learn a lot from this philosophy. We live in a world where we often fail to recognize the equal humanity of others. We become so consumed with our own perspective that we forget to even take some time to truly listen to those around us. Instead, we give a well-meaning, patronizing pity based on a single story of certain individuals. It might be true that amongst a sea of voters, a singular voice from you may seem insignificant. But for our leaders, hoping to find the best decisions for everybody, a singular story from you is a piece of a puzzle, a light in the obscure abyss of possible decisions that will lead to a more meaningful, less regretful decision. Because without our voices, without the unique information that everybody has, representation is unachievable. But perhaps with it, and a more optimistic attitude, we can break down barriers of prejudice and discrimination and empower everybody through true validated experience. So, what will you do after just listening to my speech today? Will you stand up, go home, and continue living your life like you always have? Or will you continue with this new perspective that I wanted to share with you today? And perhaps just take a brief moment every day to reflect on the